Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and share the video with your friends. It really helps us grow. Thanks.
Step forward if you agree with the prompt. If you're a woman, you should be a feminist.
Today I will be taking a look at the new video from Jubilee they got for feminists and for anti-feminists going against each other. The original video is almost an hour long, so I will either only include the most interesting moments, or I will make a part 2. But now, let's get into the video.
I think the concept of anti-feminism is like counterintuitive as a woman. Like everyone should want equality of sexes, you know? Everyone should want to have the same education level, the same all these things in a position and still make as much as a person who identifies as male.
This would only make sense if the definition of feminism was accurate. Third-wave feminists don't want equality of sexes because they already have that. They want to be treated better than men and not take accountability for their actions. Often you will hear phrases like, "We want to make as much money as men. We only get 80 cents while men get $1. And if you do just a bit of research, you will see that that's not true, as women work less hours than men, go into worse-paying jobs, or just stay at home to look after their children.
At the end of the day, it's taking a look at patriarchal systems and seeing the flaws in those systems and how they negatively impact everyone.
Mm-hmm. She said a whole load of nothing. What systems do you mean? Do you have any exact examples? Do you even know what you are fighting for? Now the anti-feminists will join the conversation. And I don't know if Jubilee did this on purpose, but in my opinion they chose the worst anti-feminists possible. Just watch.
Define woman. Go, please. One of you.
A person who their internal idea of what they are is a woman.
Terrible definition. Coming from a lesbian, that destroys the very concept of our sexual orientation, just saying that it's an idea.
Why?
Ariel here didn't even get to sit down, and she already starts attacking. I get what she's trying to say. The women sitting there try to convince themselves that they fight for women's rights, while they don't even know what a woman is. But Ariel, this is not the way you start a discussion. They will see you as rude, and even if you make a good point, they will completely disregard it.
Like, what do Black women gain from feminism?
Great. So this woman, her name is Nike, she's not a feminist anymore because she wants Black women to gain something from feminism. Isn't the whole idea of feminism to help all women and not break it down into smaller groups?
Even during Black Lives Matter, when I led 2 protests for Black women, and I counted how many white women I saw there, and the ones who were there who were just there to take pictures for social media, and then the Black men also hiding behind us. Everyone, the whole world hides behind Black women. Enough.
Don't know where she's going with this, or what she means with people hiding behind Black women, but during Black Lives Matter protests, many celebrities came just to take photos, even Black ones. Here, for example, we have Lewis Hamilton, a Black Formula One driver, who just came to the protests to take pictures for social media and left.
We deserve to choose if we want to be a traditional wife. I went from law to being a CEO to now I just want to be a housewife. And every time I say that, I get so much hate. Like, women work so hard to get to this point. Why do you want to be a housewife?
Here I agree with her. Traditional women who just want to stay at home get a ton of hate from the feminist movement because they don't fit their narrative. That's why traditional women don't want to be associated with feminism.
What are you missing in America to claim that you are oppressed as a woman?
Well, we just had our rights to our own uteruses stripped away.
No, that's not true. Each state can decide how the laws regarding abortion are structured, and if it's allowed or not. They start to argue about if a fetus is a baby or a clump of cells, but that's a completely different topic for another separate video.
Alta had a Women's Day recently, and the Women's Day was celebrated by 2 trans women who still had their male parts. I mean, you're pushing women out of womanhood.
I'm sure
that's what it's slowly becoming. You can be a biological male, still have your male parts, and be considered a woman that can speak on women's issues, like you have any experience.
What is the patriarchy?
What isn't the patriarchy? I feel like that's the better question.
it's a systemic ideal that favors masculinity, men.
I think what she meant to say is that the patriarchy is the big evil we can use as a scapegoat. Notice how the first woman couldn't give a definition and just said, "What isn't the patriarchy?" As if the patriarchy was this entity that is responsible for all women's suffering. Here is Google's definition of patriarchy: a system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it. There isn't one system or government I can think of where women are deliberately excluded. If you know one, please let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious.
What is the patriarchy?
I don't even know what that men oppress us and like.
That everything that goes wrong, that men are to blame. And I don't think that's a healthy way of being.
Very happy to live under this so-called patriarchy.
Great response from both of them. Feminism has created an imaginary enemy, someone you can blame when you fail in life. The patriarchy only exists in their head.
My life is so hard because of my kids. Oh, my kids are jerks. Oh, life is this. I have no money. Those messages are very, very pervasive, and they're very dangerous, and they're toxic
But
to
they're
women.
also real parts of motherhood. We just discussed how motherhood...
How many of you are mothers here?
I am not a mother.
I laughed really hard at this bit. Jill is speaking from experience. While none of these women even have kids, but they still feel entitled to speak about motherhood, as if they lived it. I'm not a mother, but no, honey, you can't speak about your experience if you don't have any.
They did use Black women. They used Black women's efforts because most of the achievements that feminism, you're right, like most of the achievements of feminism have been done by Black women, and white women have stepped in and taken the credit for like people who do identify as feminists, especially those of us who are white. I think the most important thing for us to do is to sit down, shut up, and listen to Black women.
How does being a white knight combat racism? You want to know why racism still exists? Because of people like her, who go out of their way to put Black people on a pedestal. The distinction between success and failure has less to do with pigment these days, and more to do with the individual's drive and determination. Would you have any determination if people constantly acted like you are a victim? Morgan Freeman once said that one of the reasons racism persists in America is that people talk too much about it. And he is correct. But his views on race didn't fit conveniently in anyone's stereotypes of how Black people are supposed to think. You are supposed to think that everyone is after you, all systems are against you, and that white people still have privileges other races can only dream of.
When I scroll my own social media feed, I rarely see a powerful woman highlighted who is not an ethnicity. No. It's true.
You're using them as pawns.
Yeah, using them as pawns.
Oh, 100%.
Yes, in the name of inclusivity, ads now must include a fat woman, a Black woman, a small Asian woman, and a gay man. She is correct, and it's great to see that at least the anti-feminists all agree. These minorities are being used as pawns to push an agenda and sell more products and services. Do you think these brands care about your skin color or anything else apart from profits? Of course they don't. They just found a way to use this as an ad campaign. A thing that came to mind is companies changing their logos on social media to feature a rainbow during Pride. Guess what? These same brands don't change their logo in the Middle East because they know that it won't help them sell more products. It would actually hurt the brand.
I don't even think about this. I don't even think that I'm not being represented even in ads. I don't care. It just does. I don't. Sure. I am me.
I'm sure you don't care.
You don't have to care.
Thank you for letting me know that. You always know, feminists always know best for me. That's what I've noticed. It's a trend. But.
I mean, I'm just pointing out that you are a privileged white woman who has not had to see the lack of diversity. When we step into a room filled with other white people, we don't notice that it's other white people.
Yes, we all should stop giving a crap if we are represented. The reaction of the feminists is insane. They don't know nothing about her, and this white feminist weirdo that puts Black people on a pedestal just calls her a privileged white woman. This is crazy. Also notice how she speaks for people of color, like they were too weak to speak for themselves. God, I get so angry when I listen to idiots. I think that's enough for today. I will definitely make a part 2, as there is still a lot I haven't covered. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share the video with your friends. I wish all of you a great day. See you in the next video.